There is one word that changes the course of careers, relationships, and negotiations more than any other. And that word is yes. The difference between people who consistently get what they want and people who do not is not intelligence, and it is not luck. It is an understanding of how decisions actually get made inside the human brain. Because the process of saying yes is not as rational as we like to believe. It follows patterns. And those patterns can be influenced. Today I am going to share 7 psychology tricks that make people significantly more likely to say yes. These are not theoretical. They are drawn from decades of research in behavioral science and used every day by negotiators, therapists, marketers, and leaders who understand how influence actually works. Number 1. The foot in the door technique. If you want someone to agree to something significant, do not start with the big ask. Start with something small. This technique was famously demonstrated by Friedman and Fraser in 1966. They asked homeowners to place a massive "Drive safely" sign in their front garden. Most refused. But homeowners who had first agreed to display a small window sticker were nearly 4 times more likely to say yes to the large sign. The reason is consistency. Once a person has said yes to a small request, they begin to see themselves as someone who supports that cause or cooperates with that type of request. The second, larger ask feels like a natural extension of who they already are, rather than a new decision. This works in professional settings, personal relationships, and everyday interactions. Start with something easy to agree to. Build from there. Each small yes makes the next one more likely. Number 2. The because shortcut. This one is almost absurdly simple, and it works far more reliably than it should. Psychologist Ellen Langer conducted an experiment where people tried to cut in line at a photocopier. When they simply asked, "Can I go ahead of you?" about 60% of people agreed. But when they added a reason, even a meaningless one, the compliance rate jumped to 93%. The key phrase was "because I need to make copies." That is not a real reason. Everyone in the queue needed to make copies. But the word "because" triggered an automatic compliance response. The brain heard a reason was being given and accepted it without evaluating whether the reason was actually valid. When you ask for something, always attach a "because." It does not need to be a brilliant justification. The mere presence of a reason, any reason, dramatically increases the chances of a yes. Number 3. Scarcity and urgency. When something appears limited, people want it more. When something appears about to disappear, people act faster. This is one of the most powerful drivers of human decision-making, and it has been documented extensively. Robert Cialdini's research showed that people rate identical biscuits as more desirable when they are told the biscuits came from a jar with only 2 remaining, compared to a jar with 10. Same biscuit. Different perceived scarcity. Completely different response. The underlying driver is loss aversion. Humans are wired to feel the pain of losing something roughly twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining something equivalent. So this offer expires tomorrow is psychologically more powerful than this offer is available from tomorrow, even though both describe the same opportunity. If you want someone to act, help them see what they might lose by waiting. Not in a manipulative way, but by honestly framing the real cost of inaction. Number 4. The labeling technique. This technique is beautifully subtle. Instead of asking someone to do something, you tell them they are the kind of person who does that thing. You seem like someone who really values fairness. You have always been so generous with your time. I have always thought of you as someone who follows through. Research by Tybout and Yolch showed that when people were told they appeared to be above-average citizens who are likely to vote, they were significantly more likely to actually vote in the subsequent election. The mechanism is identity consistency. When someone assigns you a positive label, you feel an internal pull to behave in ways that confirm that label. Rejecting the associated behavior would mean rejecting the identity, and most people would rather act consistently than face that contradiction. Label someone with the trait you want them to demonstrate, and then make your request. They will feel an almost invisible pull toward saying yes. Number 5. Reciprocity. This is perhaps the most fundamental principle of human social behavior. When someone gives you something, you feel obligated to give something back. It is not optional. It is wired into us. Cialdini describes reciprocity as one of the most potent influence tools in existence. Free samples in supermarkets work because once you have accepted the sample, your brain registers a debt. Buying the product resolves it. Restaurant servers who bring a mint with the bill receive higher tips because the gift triggers reciprocity. The power of reciprocity lies in its asymmetry. The initial gift does not need to match the returned favor. A small, thoughtful gesture can generate a disproportionately large sense of obligation. If you want someone to say yes to a future request, give them something first. Not as a transaction, but as a genuine act. When the time comes to ask, the ground has already been prepared. Number 6. Social proof. When people are uncertain about what to do, they look at what other people are doing. This is social proof, and it is one of the most reliable shortcuts the human brain uses to make decisions. A restaurant with a queue outside seems better than an empty one. A product with 1,000 five-star reviews seems safer than one with none. A charity that says most people in your neighborhood have already donated gets more donations than one that simply asks. In one study, hotels that placed a sign saying most guests reuse their towels saw a significant increase in towel reuse, far more than signs that appealed to environmental concern. People did not care about saving the planet as much as they cared about doing what other people were doing. If you want someone to say yes, show them that other people already have. Testimonials, case studies, numbers, stories. Social proof removes the risk of being the first person to agree. Number 7. The illusion of choice. This is the most elegant trick on the list, and it is used by skilled communicators constantly. Instead of asking "would you like to meet?", which invites a yes or no answer, you ask "would Tuesday or Thursday work better for you?" Both options lead to the same outcome, a meeting, but the question feels like it is about timing, not about whether to meet at all. This is called a forced choice or the illusion of choice. You are not removing the person's agency. You are simply framing the decision in a way where all available options lead to the outcome you want. Would you prefer to start with the smaller package or the standard one? Both lead to a purchase. Should we schedule the follow-up for this week or next? Both lead to a follow-up. The person feels in control because they are choosing. But the range of choices has been curated. This technique works because deciding between two positive options is psychologically easier than deciding between yes and no. You are reducing the cognitive load and making the path of least resistance a path that serves your goal. Now, there is an ethical line here that is worth acknowledging. Every technique in this video can be used to help people make decisions that genuinely benefit them. A doctor persuading a patient to take medication. A parent encouraging a child to try something new. A manager helping a team commit to a better process. But these same techniques can also be used to manipulate, exploit, and pressure people into decisions that serve only the person doing the persuading. The difference is intent. If you are using these tools to help someone arrive at a decision that is good for them, you are communicating effectively. If you are using them to override someone's judgment for your own benefit, you have crossed a line. The value of understanding these tricks is not just in using them. It is in recognizing when they are being used on you. Every sales pitch, every negotiation, every political campaign uses some combination of these 7 principles. And once you can see the mechanics, you get to choose consciously whether to say yes, rather than saying it on autopilot. If you found this useful, subscribe. This channel is about understanding the hidden psychology behind everyday life, from relationships to persuasion to how your own brain works. And if you want to see the psychology of why you trust some people instantly and distrust others, watch this video next. I will leave a link on screen. I will see you in the next one.